Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about the latest George Miller Mad Max Saga released on May 24th, 2024, Furiosa. It's an exhilarating prequel to 2015's Mad Max Fury Road and follows the come-up of Imperator Furiosa and her beef with Warlord Dementus. It's a fantastic movie, but before I hop into my review, please take a second to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you, I really appreciate it. As a warning, this review will contain some major spoilers, so please continue at your own risk. Lastly, if there's anything you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know by leaving a comment and I will do my best to get to it. Thank you. I'm hopping in 3, 2, 1. So the movie opens with a young Furiosa played by Ayla Brown living in the idyllic Green Place. Her life takes a drastic turn when a marauding war party led by the warlord Dementus results in her abduction. As she matures, now played by Anya Taylor-Joy, she becomes entangled in the power struggle between Dementus and Immortan Joe, the tyrant of the Citadel. This movie chronicles her journey from a captive slave to her eventual rebellion, highlighting her transformation into the fierce warrior in Fury Road. I think George Miller does a wonderful job with his storytelling. It's both relentless and poignant, balancing high-octane action with deep moments. It's a story about resilience, rebellion, and the quest for identity in a barbaric world stripped of humanity. It's about the loss of innocence and the forging of strength amidst adversity. I love it. The tone is great. It's unrelenting and gritty, reflecting the brutal environment of the wasteland. Furiosa's journey is a physical and psychological odyssey as she survives in the world that tries to break her down. Her enduring desire for freedom is touching. It's a timeless tale about resistance. I love the character of Furiosa and her resourcefulness and determination. Anya Taylor-Joy delivers a riveting performance, capturing Furiosa's nuanced vulnerability and strength. She's a formidable warrior with a cause you can root for, making her journey compelling, believable, and emotionally resonant. Her dynamics with the other characters in this film are great. Chris Hemsworth plays Dementus. His acting is nearly unrecognizable in this role. His nose might look a little silly, but his character is incredible. He's a warlord driven by a lust for dominance. He thrives on destruction and chaos. Seeing the deep resentment Furiosa harbors for him is understandable. Dementus is a symbol of the things she's lost, her home and her innocence. So, he is a fantastic villain for this prequel. As a secondary antagonist, we have the infamous Immortan Joe. As you likely know, his focus is absolute control over the Citadel and its water and fuel resources. He's also obsessed with creating a perfect son, leading him to capture Furiosa and others as his concubines. He's equally as despicable as Dementus, and you can easily understand why Furiosa grows to despise his tyranny. He's a savage cult of personality. The one character whose presence surprised me in this movie was Praetorian Jack. He serves Immortan Joe and is committed to his work, but with a personal code of ethics. He takes a genuine interest in Furiosa and mentors her potential for greatness beyond the oppressive systems they live in. He helps grow Furiosa into the tactician and pivotal figure she becomes. Jack is a loyal character and obviously deeply inspired by Mad Max himself. Shocking me even more than his inclusion was the relationship Furiosa and Jack had. I was not expecting that at all. So many of the modern movies I've seen with female leads tend to have an anti-men vibe. The girl boss style is usually cranked to the max, snapped off, and paints men in a very bad light. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, it just makes the characters unrelatable to both men and women. No one is good enough to do things on their own, especially in the world of Mad Max. Everybody has alliances or people they can leverage to achieve their goals, including Max. So seeing Jack and Furiosa's relationship adds a touch of humanity to a film that could have easily turned her into a Mary Sue. I guess that's another thing I really like about Furiosa's character. She's human. She gets injured and beat up all the time. She's not this invulnerable warrior. When she gets punched, you feel it. When she loses her arm, you feel her pain. It's great character writing and avoids making her a plot armor superhero. Lastly, the other side characters are awesome. I loved seeing Vulture, Scrotus, the People Eater, the Organic Mechanic, Rictus Erectus, Tojam, the History Man, and so many more other characters. Everyone was perfectly cast and fully felt part of the Mad Max world. Visually, this movie is a masterpiece. George Miller's distinctive style is evident in the stunning cinematography and breathtaking action sequences. The desolate landscapes are rendered with meticulous detail, creating a hauntingly beautiful backdrop for the story. Cinematographer Simon Dugan captures the beauty of the wasteland with sweeping shots and dynamic camera movements. The film's color palette is dominated by the stark wasteland with vivid hues of red, orange, and blue. I think it's hard to capture a visually appealing, warm-colored movie, especially one with so many desert shots, but the cinematography in this film is great. The use of practical effects combined with CGI enhancements ensures that the action scenes are visceral and immersive. One of my favorite scenes in this movie is the high-speed chase through a sandstorm. The combination of practical stunts and visual effects creates an authentic feel, and I feel like I was covered in grains of sand for days. Composer Tom Holkenberg, also referred to as Junkie XL, returns to score Furiosa. Just like in Fury Road, he delivers a thunderous and propulsive soundtrack that complements the film's intensity. The music incorporates industrial sounds and tribal rhythms, mimicking the film's raw energy. Tracks like Dementus' Gaining underscore the tension during chase sequences and make you sit on the edge of your seat. Even if you don't watch this movie, the soundtrack is definitely worth a listen. Pacing-wise, Furiosa had a great runtime. runtime. It's longer than most movies with a runtime of 2 hours and 28 minutes. However, I think George Miller utilizes each minute of the movie well and paints a strong narrative odyssey. Characters are given room to breathe and grow. Character interactions and dynamics are explored and fleshed out. It makes the movie and the world of Mad Max believable and engaging. The last thing I want to talk about is why I think this movie did poorly at the box office. I'm going to rant a lot, so I'm sorry. I think the biggest reason this movie failed is because audiences suck. Just kidding. Audiences are smart and have felt let down by many modern movies, especially modern retellings of established franchises. In the late 2010s, reboots especially took off with the rise of different streaming platforms. The reason reboots are popular is brand recognition. It played a huge part in why audiences would flock to the theaters to watch live-action Disney, Star Wars, Planet of the Apes, King Kong, Godzilla, DC, and/or Marvel movies. As a mainstream moviegoer, I may not know who Sentry or the Thunderbolts are, but I definitely know who Spider-Man is. Brand recognition matters. Unfortunately, with so many reboots, brands started being disrespected by producers. Producers started treating audience members like they were stupid and slapping brand logos on films that didn't have any relation or respect for source material. I liked a lot of these movies, but I can recognize that they weren't faithful to their established brand and lore. Some examples are Captain Marvel, the Star Wars sequel trilogy, The Rings of Power, Doctor Who, Joker 2, and so many more movies and shows. Companies stick a brand on their product and expect viewers to love it simply because of the brand. It's disrespectful to viewers and consumers, and they've caught on. We love good and consistent stories. That's what makes the brands lovable and recognizable. I could continue to rant on and on and on about this, so if you want my thoughts, please let me know and I will make a separate video. In short, what I'm trying to say is that Mad Max is an established brand built by George Miller in 1979 with the first film. Whether it's Mad Max 2, Mad Max 3, or Mad Max 4, aka Fury Road, each film has a central continuity, Max. His clothing, his car, and his tenacity to survive are what make the Mad Max series Mad Max. Furiosa is a fantastic movie, honestly. Unfortunately, this movie doesn't feature Mad Max. Praetorian Jack kind of fits that role, but he's not Max. As a result, the brand identity that audiences have come to love isn't fully there. This genuinely bums me out because this movie is so well made. I think it's perfectly fine to expand on lore and source material as long as it's in line with existing source material, and this movie does that. Sadly, audiences have become so accustomed to modern movies, especially reboots and remakes, not respecting source material, and they've been turned away from supporting many of these movies. This is a huge film industry issue. Production companies need to treat viewers better and strive to tell great stories like this one. Furiosa is a severely underrated, breathtaking addition to the Mad Max saga, showcasing George Miller's masterful storytelling and world building. With Anya Taylor-Joy delivering a gripping portrayal of Furiosa and a narrative that balances visceral action with emotional depth, the film is a triumph in character-driven cinema. Its stunning cinematography, practical effects, and Junkie XL's electrifying score elevate it to an unforgettable cinematic experience. While its deviation from the central figure of Mad Max may have impacted its reception, Furiosa succeeds in expanding the lore with respect and creativity. It's a film that deserves recognition for its artistry and storytelling, proving that even without Max, the wasteland is still a compelling place to explore. If the film industry can learn to respect audiences and source material with the same care Miller shows for his craft, movies like Furiosa could pave the way for a brighter cinematic future. So please, if you haven't seen this movie, watch it and let me know what you think. Thank you for listening to my review of Furiosa. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.